Meet the most beautiful creature of the future.
So guys, it's just after 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I know, I'm going to work at the moment. And behind me is a place called Honey Lane. Do you think there's some beautiful women waiting there for me? Let's find out. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, no!
Oh, feeling sad? Then get your happy pill. Watch Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
So, ladies and gentlemen, quite the week it has been for gaming news where it comes to censorship and the censoring of your favorite female, beautiful, feminine video game character. So far, Stellar Blade, Miss Eve herself, my good luck charm, especially for my channel. I owe every ounce of success now to that particular game. So, Eve, I am forever in your debt. And your lovely boobies as well. But of course, the big story that was headlining on Tuesday thereabouts was Final Fantasy fans furious that 15-year-old Tifa Lockhart had been censored. Now, what the fuss is about, in the first remake of FF7, there's a flashback moment of a 15-year-old Tifa, and she has quite a revealing low-cut top. Not too bad. But of course, Sweet Baby Inc. and Square Enix thought, oh, you know what? We've got to do a bit of covering up. So what do? They released an 8 GB patch that you can't get away from. It's like a Trojan horse, if you like. It'll just update the game whether you like it or not. And now you have a flashback of Tifa with some undergarments just to cover up her pride and joys. Now, bear in mind, folks, she is 15, so if you find that sort of stuff titillating, then you better go and get your head examined. I know in some countries around the world that ladies of a certain age, it's acceptable to objectify them that way, but I guess when it comes to the realm of artistry, video games and other modes of storytelling, but then you might want to take a couple of liberties. Whether you get away with them or not is the question that you have to ask. Of course, now people raged about it. How dare you censor our Tifa? But as the gentleman in question says here, she's 15, lads. This isn't the hill to die on. And I actually do agree with Mr. Donaldson. If they're going to censor this, what's going to happen to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth when that's released? And of course, those gorgeous 26 seconds of Tifa and Aerith in Costa del Sol in their saucy, sexy swimsuits. Do you think there's going to be a patch rolled out for that in the next 3 years where you've got to play the game as Tifa and Aerith all fully dressed up? Well, who knows? But word has it, and I found this very interesting as well, it's a public service announcement from Gene Park. You can play the entire Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in a bikini. Well, you know which option I'm going to go for. But then again, folks, this is Square Enix. This is Sweet Baby Stink. They could still pull a fast one on you later on and do some major covering up.
Let's push the button marked idiot and see what comes out.
I mean, the topic of today's video, folks, is really about female attractiveness in art. and for me personally what that actually means. And just as a gateway to this topic today, and yes, I will be covering Stellar Blade as usual. And boy, oh boy, would I like to cover Eve in real life. Cast your mind back to the 1970s, where the MCU was about to destroy the cinema as we know it. Burt Reynolds, Mr. Smokey and the Bandit himself, as Tony Stark, multi-millionaire Arnold Schwarzenegger, get to the hammer, as the mighty Odin's son Thor. But saving the best for last, lads. Miss Raquel Welch herself as Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow. Oh, time to take a very long bath. And while we're comparing the Western and Eastern video gaming output at the moment, just take this food for thought. If you took the best of what Hollywood had to offer in the 1980s and you took a Eastern video gaming title and paired them together, this is what you would have. So Stakeout, starring Richard Dreyfuss, Emilio Estevez, and the very based and gorgeous Madeleine Stowe from 1987, directed by John Badham. If you've never seen that film, some might call it a voyeuristic masterpiece. Some would just call it for what it is, just a great comedy action thriller, which also co-starred Aidan Quinn, who's an absolute douchebag in the movie. But if you don't know the story, you have two cops played by Estevez and Dreyfuss who have to stake out Quinn's ex-girlfriend, Maria Maguire. She's Italian-Mexican or Irish-Mexican. And yeah, there's a couple of times where she disrobes in the movie. Absolutely delightful. And if you imagine Madeleine Stowe in her absolute prime playing Stellar Blade in a live action movie, oh my God, I think I would have lost my mind already. Is that a great piece of fan casting for you, or fan arsing? Leave your comments below and let me know. And sticking with the theme of stakeouts, of course, when they made the sequel, Another Stakeout, what did they not want you to have anymore? The male gaze. Who do they cast as the new Madeleine Stowe? The very sexless Rosie O'Donnell.
313 pounds.
313 pounds. Let me see
I
that.
would imagine that's fully clothed.
Of course, we know how she's transpired these days, or he, or they, or them, whatever. And if you're going to take that sequel, what are you going to pair it with? You've got it, Western video gaming. Any bad title we've had in the last couple of years, Foreskin, The Last of Us Part 2. I think you can take the new up-and-coming Fable game and pair it with Another Stakeout. Oh, Raquel Welch as the Black Widow. God almighty. Now, the reason why I do bring up the conversation of the MCU in the 70s, it does remind me of a time when I had a big crush on Alison Blair, aka the Dazzler from Marvel, with her own set of lovely Bobby Dazzlers. And if you're not familiar with the character, she's a mutant, she was an expert fighter and rollerblader, and that is pretty much her costume. And what I find really fascinating about her design, John Romita Jr. helped to create the look of her. But back in the 80s, folks, this was acceptable. This was normal. You could pick up a comic, it would have a beautiful female on the front cover or in the inside pages, and immediately you'd be transported to a different world where, as an innocent kid, you'd be thinking to yourself, I want to be with this woman. There was no huffing and puffing about, oh no, look at that female objectification. We can't have that in a comic. It sold thousands. I mean, the title of Dazzler didn't do that well, unfortunately, but thankfully you can buy these back copies very cheap now. And yeah, she was almost going to get her own live action film as well from John Derrick. That's Bo Derrick's wife. She was going to play her, but because John and Bo don't understand the world of comic books, I think whatever they had in mind, it would have been probably a saucy R-rated version. Didn't line up with Marvel's family values. So I kind of get why that didn't actually go ahead. If you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on sugar, let me know. If you really need me, just reach out and touch me. Come on, honey, tell me so. More censorship in Final Fantasy Rebirth. So get this, I talked about Tifa Lockhart's pants already. If you want to see what they look like, that's the offending item right there, which is more like Tifa Bridget Jones, if you ask me. But of course, Sid Highwind, great character in the series. And yeah, he smokes. And guess what? For health and safety reasons, you won't see Sid smoking. And you won't see graphic violence either. It's all going to be toned down to a PG-13 level of, ooh, let's hit that thing, and ooh, let's smash that thing. So if you want to play old school Final Fantasy VII, maybe go back to the original copy that you have, where you can enjoy things as they were meant to. This censorship stuff is really getting on my nerves, and which does bring me nicely to Miss Stella Blade herself. So Game Rant, our favorite site, every costume shown off for Stella Blade so far. It's really funny that this particular website likes to shill and shrill when it wants to, but of course now, if you're ordering the deluxe edition of Stella Blade, these are the following costumes that you get for the characters. So for Eve, she's got a planet diving suit, a stargazer suit, and again for Lily and Adam, her companions, get it, Adam and Eve, they also have similar suits. So that's if you pre-order the deluxe edition. So that's Eve's diving suit right there. Let's just magnify that and get an extra look at those thick, juicy thighs. Absolutely divine. I don't mind this costume. The one I'm looking forward to the most is the leotard swimsuited outfit that they showed briefly in gameplay. I want to see more of that. There's Adam and there's Lily. I'm not sure about the MC parachute pants hammer look, but yes, but she's a young, spunky kind of girl, so it kind of makes sense that she would have that attitude. I quite like her, actually. She looks like a very sweet character. I do like her, but of course now we get to this, which I thought was awesome. Stellar Blade display at Yodobashi Camera Akihabara in Japan. Absolutely beautiful. Look at this. People going mad in the comments. I've said here, dear Shift Up, would like to see new gameplay, please. Stellar Blade, I will pre-order you. I bet you will. Definitely buying a copy. I mean, look at this. Isn't it just gorgeous? PS5, again, that's my disappointment. I wish this was on Xbox as well. And I wish this was coming out on PC on day one, but we won't get it for probably another 12 months. But that's a great display. And look at that picture of Eve right there. Absolutely splendid.
Bring out the gimp. I think the gimp's sleeping.
Listen, you can call me a dude, tell me my chromosomes are XY, and tell me that my DNA will always be male, but guess what? At the end of the day, I'm still hot though.
Gorlock the Destroyer, aka Al Weezy. You know, the he, them, she, they, it, whatever, Slabber the Hutt. They have boasted in the past that they have slept with many men.
Oh, fuck no, Jesus Christ. Get the fuck out of here.
I want to see Ms. Gorlock, the Destroyer. Oh my God. I so want to watch that Conan sequel again now. I want to see receipts. I want to see absolute proof. Slabber the Hutt.
And I'm your certified bad fat then.
Godzilla! Well, I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but if you enjoyed this video today, and yes, I have absolutely no idea why Sydney Sweeney's even talking to Jimmy Fallon if you know the things about Epstein Island, but my God, being trapped in this cleavage right here is heaven sent. And if I were you, and if you were me, you might want to use two mice and double click these thumbnails at the same time, because it looks like you're double clicking Sydney Sweeney's boobs.